on Trends with LJE today. Security crisis, promises, reality, and external factors. NLC threatens protest as campaign controversy brews. And on sports, Troost-Ekong and the World Cup draws. Hello, welcome to today's episode of Trends with LJE, where we analyze major stories shaping leadership, justice, and economic growth across Nigeria and, of course, Africa. I am John Nkamian. Today's episode highlights pressing issues in Nigeria's. You can also be part of the conversation by following us on all social media platforms at LJE Nigeria. Joining me are my all-female panel of Gracie and Miriam. Ladies, thank you for being a part of the show today.
The pleasure.
Now let's get right into our first story, where the National Security Advisor, NSA, Malam Nuhu Ribadu, and the new Minister of Defense, General Christopher Musa, retired, have issued strong, unified promises to Nigerians vowing to crush terrorism and restore peace. NSA Ribadu affirmed that any group attempting to undermine national security will take action, highlighting that the government has already secured 775 terrorism-related convictions. Similarly, Minister Musa assured the nation that he will work whatever it takes to ensure Nigeria is secured, promising that results would be visible within the shortest possible time, in line with President Tinubu's firm directive to protect citizens. This dual commitment aims to protect confidence in the government's renewed security strategy, positioning Nigeria as the only functioning democracy in the Sahel determined not to surrender to terror. Despite these high-level assurances, the reality on the ground remains volatile. While the good news emerged that 5 adopted students of Rivers State University were successfully rescued by security forces, a contrasting narrative persists in the north-central region, where the kidnapped monarch of Bayanga Ile community in Kwara State, Alhaji Rufai Salami, is still being held by bandits 5 days after urging him to flush out terrorists, immediately to ensure that normalcy returns and laughter and joy to have to come back to Nigeria. Compounding the gravity of the situation, prominent Islamic social scholar Sheikh Ahmad Gumi raised fresh concerns by alleging that powerful foreign nations are secretly backing terrorists in Nigeria. Speaking to the BBC Hausa service, Gumi claimed that a recent reversal of security gains, such as renewed violence on the previous safer Abuja-Kaduna highway, suggests external support for armed groups. He urged the Nigerian government to intensify intelligence and diplomatic scrutiny of all external links that may be fueling the prolonged security crisis, asserting that his foreign interference is key to the recent spike in attacks. The nation's insecurity has provoked a powerful response from organized labor, with the Nigerian Labour Congress, NLC, issuing a major warning. NLC President Joe Ajaero declared that the country is under siege and announced the Congress' intention to declare a national day of mourning and mobilize for nationwide protests over the worsening security situation. Now, the NLC is demanding a full investigation into the alleged withdrawal of security operatives before a recent school kidnapping, and stressed that they cannot stand idle and allow criminals to take over the country, urging that the lives of teachers, students, and workers are at stake. This threat of national action coincides with a fierce political controversy over the priorities of the Tinubu-led administration. Opposition parties, including the African Democratic Congress, ADC, and the Labour Party's 2023 presidential candidate, Peter Obi, have strongly criticized President Tinubu for engaging in what they label as an early 2027 re-election campaign. Their focus is the distribution of new branded luxury vehicles, Hummer buses, and Toyota Hilux trucks to state coordinators of the Renewed Hope Ambassadors, a structure they claim is a political smokescreen deployed ahead of the official INEC timetable. Peter Obi condemned the distribution as a tragic misplacement of priorities and an abuse of public trust, arguing that the funds should have been channeled towards urgent interventions addressing hunger, health, and insecurity. Similarly, the ADC accused the president of operating more like a candidate than a president during a national emergency and violating the Electoral Act, stating that the move confirms the emergency declaration was a mere gimmick, while the APC denied the link to 2027, insisting that the renewed Hope ambassadors merely promotes government achievements and stabilizes the party base. The opposition maintains the action is insensitive, while citizens are grappling with existential challenges. Now, I come to my panel in the studio. Let me start with you, Miriam. Everybody's reacting to the fact that President Bola Tinubu's renewed hope. Videos have been flying around showing the new buses and Hummer buses and Hilux Jeeps that have been distributed across the country. And opposition parties are already crying foul. Let's not forget that earlier this year, this matter came up where there were billboards everywhere across Nigeria, particularly the nation's capital, Abuja, showing Tinubu ahead of 2027. So, and like has been rightly pointed out, this is a breach of the Electoral Act. Campaigns are not supposed to start until INEC officially declares the campaigns to commence. So how do you react to all of this?
It's no longer news that the lives of Nigerians do not matter in our own country. Our leaders don't care what we're going through. They always look for a way to leverage on every possible opportunity. They try to politicize everything just to make themselves look good. It is very heartbreaking that in the current situation Nigerians are going through now, the killings, the kidnappings, the bloodshed, everybody is. And what our particular or it's concerned about is renewed Hope ambassadors. Okay, he has been the president of Nigeria for some years now, and what has what has he been able to do? Insecurity has been on the rise, and he is not doing anything about it. He is just there. But what he wants to do is how he's going to siphon money into his pockets in the cars, buying buses to give to people, and it's really not making sense. We'll wake up.
Gracie, the presidential flag bearer or candidate for the Labour Party says the timing is wrong. The act is insensitive. It shows that Mr. President is insensitive to the challenges currently facing Nigerians. In fact, he suggested that the money should have been channeled into healthcare, improving security, bettering the lives of Nigerians. So how do you react to this?
Honestly, what is going on in this country is very heartbreaking, very sad. Why insecurity is getting worse day by day, and the NLC is ones that Nigeria is under
siege.
Yes, exactly. And our leaders are busy distributing branded vehicles for political positioning ahead of 2027. How do you explain that? How do you call that? When teachers, students, workers are being kidnapped, families are still mourning. They are still mourning the dead. And our leaders are busy sharing all those things. How do you explain that? Money that to fight the insecurity, to fight or to fight the hunger that is happening in this country, they are there busy using it for political positions. That is very wrong. At this point, Nigerians want a leadership that can how will I even put it? Nigeria wants leadership that prioritizes life over campaigns, not this one they are doing. So if we are crying, if the people are crying and the government are rejoicing, then something is fundamentally wrong with our values.
Okay, before I let you go, how do you think the international community would react to this development? I mean, especially at a time where the eyes of the world is watching Nigeria.
They will be very disappointed because they will think that we are just playing. Because how can this happening in Nigeria, that Trump is even saying that Nigeria is
The country of
country
particular
of
concern.
Then you are there doing branded vehicles for 2027 campaigns that is not even here, that is not even now. So how would they will think that we are playing, they will think that this country, we don't even know what we are doing in this country.
Miriam, how do you react to the argument of the APC that the vehicles are not for the campaigning, but it's just to help stabilize their grassroots structure so that party officials can do their job in continuation in being able to continually.
Which job is the party officials doing with what is happening in the country now? They elected by this same APC. What have they done? What is their impact to Nigerians that they are giving them more vehicles? They have vehicles already. It's not as if they don't have vehicles. They have vehicles that they've been using to move. What have they done with those vehicles that have been given to them? Or they are just trying to get more money for themselves so that they'll be getting richer while the poor keeps getting poorer?
Well, we'll take a quick break, and when we return, we'll be bringing you sports update as we bring you the latest on Troost-Ekong and the World Cup draws. So stay with us and keep sharing the stream.
Wait, you mean you still don't know? Come closer. Let me just see something powerful. Do you know that when you or even your siblings become a victim of kidnapping, God forbid though, the government has the responsibility to protect you? Yes, they do. But when that responsibility fails, you have the right to seek justice, and that is where LJE Nigeria comes in. If you spent money, paid ransom, or suffered loss, you can gather all your evidence and submit it to LJE Nigeria. They will help you build a strong case and demand accountability from the government. It's your right to be protected. It's your right to demand justice, and you are not alone. LJE Nigeria is here to stand for you. So don't just complain. Don't suffer in silence. If you have any evidence, gather it, submit it, and let LJE Nigeria fight for you legally.
To report a violation with LJE, simply visit www.ljenigeria.org. On the homepage, click on LJE Support. Then select the Kidnapping Victim Support option. You will be redirected to fill a form to get started. Then you will need to complete the information accurately and accordingly. Then submit. Afterwards, the LJE Justice team will contact you for further assistance.
Thanks for staying tuned. And if you're just joining us, this is Trends with LJE. Shifting focus to the world of sports, there is significant movement in both national and international football circles. Super Eagles star defender William Troost-Ekong confirmed his retirement from international football, providing insight into his reason for stepping away from the national team. Now, this announcement marks the end of an era for the Super Eagles and signals a key defensive gap that the national team handlers must now urgently address as they look towards future tournaments. On the global stage, all eyes are fixed on the forthcoming 2026 World Cup draw. The event is generally anticipated draw is set to attract massive global media attention, further underscoring the political and cultural prominence of the world's biggest football tournament. This international focus follows a period of stability in Nigerian football, but reminds fans of the massive stage of global competition. The news provides a brief but compelling highlight for the stream, allowing a momentary pivot from the intensity of the national security and, of course, political discourse to discussions of major trending events in the sporting world. Well, that's where we wrap it up for today's edition of Trends with LJE. Thank you to Miriam and Gracie for your contributions on the show.
Pleasure.
And to you, our viewers, for joining the conversation. Remember, follow us online at LJE Nigeria across all platforms. I am John Nkamia. Bye for now.